Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Directed by Junie. I discuss videos that are art and I also make art. Today I wanted to talk about the one and only cult classic, Pootie Tang. I watched it recently as an adult and I realized that there are a lot of points in there about self-discovery and authenticity that really aligned with the person I am today. It's just like a really kind of like silly movie. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my laptop. I just have a few notes. So first I wanted to talk about The Enigma of Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang came out in 2001. It was a feature film directed by Louis C.K., adapted from a comedy sketch on The Chris Rock Show. Pootie Tang is a satirical superhero that parodies blaxploitation characters. The narrator of the movie, who is his best friend Truckee, starts off by saying that people didn't understand what Pootie was saying because he has a speech impediment, but it didn't stop you from picking up what he was putting down.
Pootie Tang is, was, and will always be too cool for words.
Pootie Tang gets his sense of self from his father, mostly, who on his deathbed granted him this belt. So this belt symbolizes knowing what's right and what's wrong, basically fight against the wrong and also not let any women come between him and that belt. He grows up to become an icon of the community as a musician. He's a crime fighter. He's a role model. He makes PSA commercials for the kids. He tells them, hey, don't drink malt liquor. Hey, don't smoke cigarettes. Hey, don't eat fast food because it's not good for you. Now, since we talked about how Pootie's authenticity inspires him when people don't understand him, we're going to get into chapter 2, the philosophy of authenticity. Jean-Paul Sartre's concept of authenticity means to live in alignment with one's true self because you're free from societal expectations. Pootie Tang definitely does those things. He remains in alignment with his true self because he never changes how he talks. He has an unconventional way of dressing, and he rejects corporate exploitation. His way of living life in general is very unconventional and aligns with his authentic self. Chapter 3, the struggle against external forces. Because of his rejection of corporate exploitation, the main villain of this movie is a man named Dick Lecter, who is the CEO of Lecter Corp. With Pootie's PSA of eating healthy, not drinking malt liquor, not smoking cigarettes, the whole thing, Lecter Corp actively loses money because they are pouring into fast food and drugs and liquor stores. In this book called The Society of the Spectacle by Guy Debord, he talks about this overarching idea that people are alienated from society under a capitalistic structure, and every spectacle is mediated through advertising, media, entertainment, which is exactly what Dick Lecter attempts to do. The spectacle is not a collection of images, it is a societal relation between people that is mediated by images. If people seem to agree with it and stand behind it and everybody's doing it, you're more likely to do it too. So Pootie Tang is a symbol of maintaining that individuality against a society that aims to exploit and homogenize. Chapter 4, self-discovery through adversity. Lecter Corp does catch up to Pootie Tang. All of those things, like his likeness, which is basically like how he dresses, and his individuality and his belt are what he equates to his self-worth. So he feels vulnerable without those things. He goes on this sort of hero's journey to rediscover himself. In Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces, he reveals this common order that he coins, the monomyth. This structure reveals that true self-discovery requires facing challenges and embracing that vulnerability. He loses all his swag, basically, like poor guy. Goes to like live on a farm somewhere. What do you do when you lose everything? You hallucinate. He sees his parents in the cornfield. Literally, his dad is the corn and his mom is a cow. They tell him to teach the world right from wrong, but to love the world at the same time. His dad says, ain't nothing special about that belt. I bought it at Piggly Wiggly for 95 cents. All of the things that make you uniquely you and help you shine are not connected to your aesthetic or how you present to people. It's about your heart. And chapter 5 is called The Role of Community in Self-Discovery. Now, I've mentioned Lacey, JB, Truckee, Biggie Shorty. All of his friends love him. One father even referenced on the news how his kids look up to Pootie like more than their own dad. The late philosopher Martin Buber's I Thou, he talks about 3 elements that characterize a genuine connection, a real relationship. The first one is mutual recognition, the second is presence, and the third is equality. All of Pootie's friends see themselves as irreplaceable. They're all genuine and they all matter to the friend group. There's like an equal and cyclical exchange of energy and affirmations there. When somebody who works at LectorCorps comes to the inner city of Chicago and tries to bribe Pootie Tang into signing $1 million contract, who sticks up for Pootie Tang? It was JB, Lacey, and Biggie Shorty. Biggie Shorty also went on the news to tell everybody, like, if you really believe that Pootie Tang would do something like this, then maybe the world doesn't deserve Pootie Tang. And the fact that she would stick up for him on national television says a lot about their relationship. All of them are equal to each other. Even though Pootie Tang is like the superhero, he doesn't treat them any differently because everybody loves him. In those good connections that he has, that reaffirms how Pootie Tang feels about himself. In contrast to the corporates that just aim to control him, he sees his community as unique and irreplaceable, and not just dollar signs. Chapter 6, Conclusion, Pootie Tang as a modern philosophical icon. This entire movie, while it's like really funny and, ridiculous at times, it touches on the core concept of being your true self and how that will always shine through. It had a Rotten Tomato score of like 27%, which I don't understand how it even got that low. I feel that maybe whoever was watching it didn't understand the cultural implications or the significance that this movie had on the Black community. What can we learn from Pootie Tang in a society that often commodifies identity? We are in a society that is very aesthetically driven, and we can be prone to being pressured into things. What our friends are into are more likely going to be the things that we're into, just by default. Let me know in the comments, like, have you guys seen this movie? Will you see this movie after hearing me talk about it? I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!